No.
Now they have the 71 moratorium on them. But he was a buddy of David O'Shea.
He was
Called as like
80 years old.
he was called as like a 74-year-old to an assistant to a 12, and then called as an apostle like 78.
Oh, wow.
And died at like 82. And Dad
They're
got
taking a
pictures like
picture
that.
of
And
Puppy.
hold on.
Are you pointing
They had a district conference in Tampa that whole district was going to, because there were no branches south of Orlando. It was the most south. And he got up. We met in the building that we were building, and it wasn't completed. But we met in the cultural hall. And when he got up at the pulpit, he welcomed everybody, and he says, especially those of you who are not members of the church yet. He says, I just want to tell you that you're on the perimeter of the kingdom of God. Guess where I was standing?
Right in the doorway.
I was in the doorway. I wasn't in, I wasn't out. I said, but you got me.
I'm coming in. Daddy Bill claims to be that. Daddy Bill claims to have been at that same conference. I spoke to him about it. He was investigating for the longest time, but he was in that conference, he said.
Which Daddy Bill are you talking about?
Bill Wright.
Oh.
Bill Wright was in
Okay.
Yeah, they were
in
down
Florida.
in Florida. Yeah, they were in Florida.
In Miami.
He's a year older than you. So he would have been like in his early 20s as well.
Was he wasn't a member
He
of
wasn't a member
the
yet, but he was heavily investigating the church. I think he read the Book of Mormon tons of times before he joined finally.
Is that our? Oh, that's not.
He said he was in that session. Came up from Miami for it. Because at that time, there was only one stake in the whole state of Florida that was in Jacksonville.
That's right.
So that's where the growth was. It was up in the northern part.
And
Everybody from the south would come up.
the Orlando ward was in that state. And we were a branch, Melbourne Beach branch.
And they just organized that right after you started reading the Book of Mormon.
I was serving as a charge of quarters as a non-commissioned officer. They put us in charge of the single barracks, and I had my barracks, and I was serving as a charge of quarters. You stayed up all night and took all of the phone calls and helped all the drunks get into the bunks.
Drunks to the bunks.
I gotta tell you, Captain Fife, that's the one that baptized her. He was our superintendent of Sunday school. And his wife, the blonde there, she's beautiful. She would come pick me up on Sundays. I'd be at my desk because they were all ready to go. And she'd come in the hallway there. And the guys would go to get a shower. And some of them didn't have anything on. It just bothered her.
She's a nurse.
She was a nurse, darn good. And they asked her to see who it was that I'd be there. I tried to shelter, but it was and they saw who it was. Boy, they'd shoot back to the door. Memories, isn't it?
That's cool.
That is
Can't
awesome.
wait to open up my email.
That is
So there
awesome.
yours.
Thank you, Chris.
Mother's Day gift.
You can bring it in and put it on yours, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I can bring them up.
Speaking of memories, Becky said that she brought in extra room in her pack to take out those two 3-ring visors
Oh.
with her name on them.
Thank
Yes,
you.
yes. So Paul's gonna have to keep bringing them to me.
Johnny's got all his now.
Awesome.
And then you can go through and discard it. Victor said you can keep everything in
That's
the world.
what I'm
He
doing.
even found a little dog license for Booger.
No, I'm keeping every one.
That Reed Fife that baptized her was a captain in the Air Force. medical corps, and he was a pediatrician, and he had a disability in his back. Usually the military don't take him when you got that kind of thing, but they took him because of his knowledge. Yeah. He was working in the special routine to save the babies that were born not breathing or lost their breath in the crib. And he was able to fly him to the air base where everyone was so tired. He came back a champion.
He was special.
Yes. One that baptized me, Reuben Bailey. He was a chief project engineer at Cape Canaveral, the old Cape, where they shot the missiles and everything off. He was at Martin, chief engineer.
Where was he from?
He was from California.
He was from Cali?
Yeah.
Southern California, or?
I think so. I don't know, it's up on that one, but he was...
What was his name again?
Bailey, Reuben Bailey.
There it goes.
He's still alive, and he's pressing young, and he sounds
Well,
like...
they have Robert Reed Fife. They have his obituary
Yeah.
from Ammon, Idaho, that you can see a picture of him. He only died in 2005.
Oh, wow.
Isn't he a handsome guy?
Yeah, I'll pull that one up first.
Yeah.
Dad, you want to sit down?
No,
Yeah, I started to say we got a lot of room over here, dog.
This is
laying on my butt.
that's the baptized dad. That's his obituary.
How about that?
As the very widely known in the community, was a doctor the whole time.
Ammon's on 15 as you're going up towards Rexburg.
Oh, he's nice.
Isn't
Oh,
he?
wow, yes.
They were so kind to us. Oh, every member down
I
there.
gotta tell you, they got take me home. It's sort of like Becky's got a deal with Paul. You're here on Sunday. You'll have to call me.
Yeah.
They would take me in their car, come pick me up from Barrington, and we go to sacrament meeting at the chapel, our chapel, little place. That was an assembly hall, and it was a boat dock place. Everybody anchored their boats in there, and that's where Melbourne Beach was. And they took me home to eat, and boy, she was a good cook. But from the beginning, there was no bread.
Oh, Daddy was not happy.
Well, I took that about 3 Sundays, and then right during the meal, I said, "I got a question for you, Captain Pye." And he said, "What?" And she says, "Wait till I get there." And she came out of the kitchen. I said, "Do you people have something against bread?" I said, "Yeah, do the Mormons have something against bread?" Because I was anchored in on the word of wisdom, I'd given up coffee, because that's what we had. We didn't drink water when we were flying. We had coffee, strong, keep us awake. And
Good job.
yeah, but it's like that. And they laughed and laughed and laughed, and then finally got control of themselves and says, "Absolutely not." And then Dorothy says, "If we have rice, but we don't serve bread." And
Potatoes, we don't serve bread.
Irish potatoes. We don't serve bread, but that's not true either, is it? I mean, but that's the way they were doing it. And,
Yeah.
and they said,
So what was the name again, Dad? The other one?
Reuben Bailey.
Listen, boy, she's talking too, isn't she? I put it up there, Lonnie, but you can have it back anytime
You
you
just
want.
say me because
You got the best
you
looking,
knocked out my biscuits
the
and
best looking shoes.
cornbread.
I love your shoes. Your shoes are
Lost
so pretty.
And he had just been sealed to his wife with
You want
Buddy
that that one
before you were
too?
baptized.
Is that the one you want?
They were civilly
I
married
just put it
in
up there because he
Iowa
was lonesome
in
for
50,
you.
but in 52 they were
I
civilly
think she likes
in
the
the
bear
Idaho
dress.
temple.
Those old
And
things
you're
on the front of
baptized
that
in
one.
54.
You're
So about a year and a half
Comfortable
later.
with me a little bit.
We're
I
married.
see you started looking at me.
Isn't she precious?
She's gorgeous.
53.
Yeah.
And when
Baptized.
they were baptized.
How did you all decide on that name?
He came up with it.
Well, because he's Bryson Justin,
Mm-hmm.
and so it was going to be her name for the middle name to be named after her, but then we're like, we like the name Marissa, and we put the A on the back of it.
Right.
We're like, well, why don't we just dedicate it to both of them? And so she gave up her name, so we put Joe in there, but we just love it.
Fantastic. She's not ever going to find anybody that's got that name.
Yeah.
Family name.
Marissa Joe.
Yeah, you can think. Okay. You can do anything you want to. Anything's not tied down, you can have.
Always figured you guys are both strong anchors and strong, so we figured just give her back to both of you. So.
They're so smiley and happy.
A little before
Were
that
they good on the
period, we
trip?
went to the Holocaust Museum
They
yesterday.
were really good
Oh,
except
no,
for
man,
when
it
we
blew it. It started
She
with the
was
events of
screaming.
33 through
We couldn't
39.
see it all because it's so
And,
big.
You get on the
uh,
plane.
Yeah. That's what mattered.
They were shooting for 100% Aryan.
The
And
driver
they had
was
waves.
family,
They had
so.
16 classes of races
Oh,
that they
that's
put you in.
wonderful.
And they would measure your cranium, they'd match your eye
Color
color,
your
your
hair,
skin color.
everything.
And we put you in this class, and they had blacks as the 15th next to the bottom, and Jews as the bottom, and just called them a curse to the world. And I mean, I had a hatred for old Hitler in no
He
time
wanted
there.
all Nazis. He was worse than a Ku Klux Klan. Yeah.
I went to the
No.
We all joked and sat there doing
No.
wanting to kill him.
yeah. I actually
Do it
asked the
before you
director. I said, "So tell me, when did
Hey,
Hitler
that's
die?"
a
He
bag
goes, "In
fun to get into,
1945."
Mama.
Basement of
She
a
loves
building
bags.
of Russia. He said we were.
Drinking.
He said he was below Berlin. He was being. The Russians were coming in to bomb,
Yes.
and he knew he was going down, and he committed suicide. And they found
Drink
his body
cyanide
afterwards.
poisoning or
And
something.
I said, "Well, where's his body?" He goes, "It was cremated, and we've yet to be able to find it yet." As if to say, if we could find it, we would display it so people could defecate on, to this day, because he is.
Oh, he was
That's,
he was
Did he
horrible.
have Mormons on that list?
On the not in the 16 classes. No, it was like Scandinavian was one of them, and then he had a special name
But
for.
the Catholics went against him because he was for sterilization. Even little kids, he sterilized little kids. So he didn't
If you had to be in that low class,
Yes.
it was
Yes.
either if you had any mental
can
problems,
look at
it
it
was
without
euthanasia. But if you were in the low classes, you were sterilized.
And they
you
showed a
couldn't
picture
continue.
of Eisenhower with his group, General Eisenhower, President of the United States. He wasn't president then.
Just
Looking
pretend with
over
it.
all the bodies on the
Don't push
ground,
the button.
skin and bones, like, yes. And he said, this is just an atrocity.
Did y'all take the elevator at all in
I
that
did.
building?
Look.
Did you notice?
What?
They had a video of this officer
No,
talking.
the elevator in the museum,
Was
Holocaust
built like
Museum,
the,
it's like a gas chamber.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever noticed that.
No, it's
Well,
not like
I
you're
knew-
gonna go in, Paul.
I knew Bill. I was claustrophobic.
You get in
They were
there.
packing us in, and
You
I
get in,
said,
it's not advertised that way, but you get in and you turn around and all of a sudden the doors close and it's just
No, I
a little
didn't-
moment
I
you're like,
It was so
in a little
crowded
moment you're
that I
like,
didn't notice it.
whoa,
My
because
brother-
it has the lights and the walls, it's built to sort of have that gas
well,
chamber.
they have the main hall is built like a ghetto
Yeah.
from Poland.
Yeah.
And it's all dark and it's.
No, it's
No.
an amazing museum.
And it's.
I could have spent 6 hours there. We only spent 2,
Yeah,
and I
we-
just said,
we couldn't
"Well,
see it all.
I get the gist.
Yes.
I hate this man." And
You get this one room where they have just shoes of kids. Did you see that?
Oh, they did, but we
Yeah.
didn't.
The shoes of kids, just
I
thousands
wouldn't have
and
been able
thousands.
to.
There's a
of
bunch
shoes.
of them.
Smells of leather,
Yeah.
but shoes of kids that were all.
Well, I had a quote saying that we are the shoes, we are the last witness.
Yeah.
I was like, that is just
Yeah. Thinking I was the last one that
I don't
saw
think
you,
it was
pretty much, you know.
too hard.
It's heart wrenching.
Anyway, go ahead then.
I wonder what our church came through and said during that time. Though.
It's actually
Okay.
We had to
Don't
come
throw it,
through with a
Mojo.
general
Got a
statement.
No, no,
documentary
no,
I'll show you.
Daddy.
You've seen that picture?
Joe.
Eisenhower was in the Patton.
Don't throw it, baby.
And Omar Bradley.
He was in Patton with him, right?
Yeah.
Patton, Bradley,
Break it, Mojo.
and your
It'd be soft.
Uncle James.
Was he in that picture also?
No, he wasn't.
But he served Patton, right?
Oh, wow. Oh, because that was just heart-wrenching, seeing those people on the ground.
Super part.
I wonder if you could probably pick him out, maybe. Yeah, it was pretty obvious who Eisenhower was. You could tell by his face. And there was a smaller man. Was Bradley small?
Yes.
He was to his left.
That was him.
And then I guess Patton was to his right. I kept looking for George C. Scott. But
Yeah, that's what I was
that's
looking for.
not,
Like,
that's not Patton.
I'm not like Patton.
Because hey, you become Patton as far as I'm concerned.
But it was a documentary because my history class at BYU was taught. One of my Jewish history classes was taught by Brother Tobler, who's a convert. And he and another of the historians there at BYU researched this guy named Helmut Hubner. Never heard about him. There's a documentary they put on him. It's amazing.
Did he report through Hitler's?
Actually, he was an underground resistance.
Oh.
He was LDS. He actually
Was getting
borrowed the ward clerk's typewriter to make anti-Nazi pamphlets, and actually was caught and killed by Hitler's order specifically. It was just him and 2 other priests, but they've now are put him up there with these other little isolated. There wasn't many groups that fought against him, but they talk about in his documentary about how at first it was difficult because we believe in being good citizens, and he said that he would show up and the branch president would start playing Hitler speeches from the pulpit, and members started getting uncomfortable. But they tried to see why would he do that, but there was this attempt to try to be good citizens, to appear not against the thing. So they tried to appear good citizens, and they actually started kicking Jews out of the congregation. And that's when many members started pulling completely away from that part. And it wasn't complete. This wasn't a sanctioning from the Salt Lake. This was the local ward and branch leaders trying to deal with their reality of a political side going crazily wrong.
Yes.
But it was crazy to see some of that dynamic. But he actually was excommunicated on the books by the church local leaders, and then it was the church's official putting him back in once the documentary started to be.
Posthumously after he passed away.
Yes, after he was passed away. But it's a great documentary. Great documentary.
Well, I figured the way we're quick to put out statements, general statements, and I wondered if our church put anything out in the early 30s or mid 30s when things were going down over there. I know they probably pulled the missionaries.
Yeah, they
And
did
with
pull
that,
the
they probably
missionaries.
put a statement out there.
I think it was statements just the war specifically, not necessarily against anything Germany or Nazism. That museum is amazing.
Yes,
Amazing. They had one also at a Holocaust museum in LA.
Which part of the pre-existence did you come from?
Perfect. Go ahead and sit her down. Well, we're gonna have to make it because this is where we're gonna have the interview. No, I've got your caregiver coming.
Well, now how are we gonna manage that?
I don't know.
Do you want them to go in there and sit?